So today's video is my April wrap-up. This is going to be everything that I read in the month of April. I do feel like April was a pretty productive month. I got quite a bit done. Started out kind of slow. Audiobooks helped a ton, which I know how some people feel about audiobooks, but I love them. I get very busy, and especially when I'm trying to do 1,000 different things, it really helps to have a book to listen to so I don't have to worry about making time to actually pick up a physical copy of something and read it. So first up on this list is a book I actually do not own, but I did listen to the audiobook of, and that is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I have a book talk up for this book, so if you want to see my full in-depth thoughts on this book, go check that out. I will put the link down below. I actually enjoyed this book. I believe I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. For those who maybe missed the train as much as I did when it came to The Darkest Minds, this book is all about a girl named Ruby who lives in a US where children catch a disease and most children die. For those who are left, those children develop abilities and they are all sent basically off to concentration camps. And in these camps, they are given a color which matches their ability, and this is all about Ruby's story inside this world. I really enjoyed this story, and I really enjoyed Bracken's writing. I, however, didn't enjoy the middle of this book that much. I felt like it was very slow, and I feel like there could have been a lot more development to it, but overall, fantastic read, and I do recommend it. Next up is unfortunately a book I had to DNF. I got about 100 pages into this book and I was very confused on what was going on. This one was actually on my April TBR, so I was very excited to pick it up. I was very excited to start it. The book I am talking about is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. The Rest of Us Just Live Here is about a boy named Mikey who goes to a school and is basically the side character to all of those superheroes and all those other awesome stories that we read and enjoy. He is the side character looking in on the lives of these people, which is part of what got my attention. I was very interested to read it because it sounded like a good concept. I was so disappointed by this. I couldn't keep characters straight. I couldn't follow what was happening. Each of these chapters start with a little paragraph, and from what I could tell, the paragraph had nothing to do with the rest of the story. Probably, if I would have kept reading, it would eventually made sense. I had no idea what was happening, and I just hit a point to where I had other things I would rather be reading than trying to force myself through a book I honestly just didn't understand. That also in part could be my fault because I thoroughly enjoyed Patrick Ness's other series, the Chaos Walking series. I adore that series, and so my expectations for this book were sky high, and this one just, it didn't live up to the hype for me. Now, despite the fact that I had an April TBR and I had all these things I was going to read, I threw most of them right out the window because I stood back, I looked at my shelf, and I thought to myself, what do I want to read? And what I came across was Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I was looking at my Cassandra Clare collection and I realized I have yet to read The Dark Artifices, and I've been talking about the Shadowhunters like crazy lately, and so I figured I would pick it up. Of course, because I started Lady Midnight and I finished Lady Midnight, I also this month had to read Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. For those who maybe don't know, because Cassandra Clare puts out way too many books, this series follows Emma Carstairs and Julian Blackthorne in present day. This is all about them in the Los Angeles Institute and all the issues and problems that we saw beginning in City of Heavenly Fire of the Mortal Instruments series. It all comes together in these 2 books, and if you have heard anything about these books, you have heard that the end of this one, especially, really hurts. It's not a lie. It really hurts. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, I had a solid like 2-minute rant after I finished this book because I couldn't handle myself. As much as this one hurt, I think this one hurt more because I have more of a vested interest in Emma and Julian. So the end of this one caused a lot more problems for me than this one. But I'm not saying this one didn't hurt because it absolutely did. Also for these books, the third one comes out December 4th of this year. So super excited for that because I need to know what happens after Lord of Shadows. Next up on this list, I crossed off a major YA reader accomplishment. Yeah, I crossed off a major accomplishment for myself. If you guys have been following me for a little bit, then you know all about my struggle and determination to finish the Vampire Academy series. I started it forever ago. I read the first 4 books. I loved it. And then I hit Spiritbound. And when I got to Spiritbound, I was all kinds of let down because it is so slow. It is so slow. Compared to the rest of the series, this book is so slow. I get it. I know why it was needed, but it's so slow. So this is the 5th book in the series. I don't want to tell you too much about it because of the fact it's a 5th book, and I feel like if you've read 4, you know this one follows. But then also in the month of April, not only with Spiritbound, I crossed off the entire Vampire Academy series on my list by also reading Last Sacrifice. So I officially crossed off this series and read both of these. Very happy to say I did that. I completely and totally disagree with who Rose ends up with in this book. It is wrong. It is not correct. The other person did so much more for her, and I don't agree. So before I get going on my ramblings about Vampire Academy, the next book that I read in the month of April is Cress by Marissa Meyer. You guys know about my love for Miss Marissa Meyer, and I was so happy to actually finish my Lunar Chronicles. I am currently just over a quarter of the way in winter, so also going into May, I will have winter finished. Very excited. I love what's happening. It's fantastic. For maybe if you don't know about the Lunar Chronicles, it is a giant series of fairy tale retellings. The first book is Cinder, which is a Cinderella retelling with cyborgs and in the future, and there are lunar people. Cinder is a cyborg and she has metal parts, and it's a whole lot of awesome fantasticness. You have Scarlet, which is the second book, which is a Little Red Riding Hood retelling. Then you have Cress, which is a Rapunzel retelling, and then you have Winter, which is a Snow White retelling. I love these books. I currently do not have Stars Above, but I am very excited once I finish Winter to get my hands on Stars Above and see what I think about that one as well. Those are all the books that I have read in the month of April, so that is all I have for you guys on my April wrap-up. I hope you guys enjoyed. I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. As always, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next time. I mixed it up this time.